Okay. Welcome to Back to School with Legit Oils. I'm Lauren Gitlin. I'm going to focus tonight on a few different ways that you can really help to support yourself and your family with going back to school. And this isn't only for somebody who has children in school. This is for anyone, whether you yourself are a teacher or you're just, getting back into a new routine for the fall. This will help benefit everyone when trying to get better immune support and, just really back into the swing of things. So first, I'm going to focus on nutrition. So that's kind of the baseline of everything when you're looking at what you're eating and different supplements or things that you may or may not be using. So I'll focus on children for the first half of this since we were talking about back to school, like I mentioned. One of them would be probiotics. So focusing on gut health and maintaining a healthy gut flora and making sure that we have the right kind of balance of the good bacteria in our gut to help really digest everything and get things moving is really going to be helpful. So for the kids, it's always a good idea to have a probiotic on hand. I know even like when I've gone to the pediatrician and they say, if you ever need, hey Tatiana, antibiotics for whatever reason, they're like, oh, make sure you give a probiotic because they're really realizing how important it is to make sure that your gut health is on point because it has such a big impact on your overall immune health. So I use these daily with the kids. These are the PB Assist Juniors, and they're little sachets that you just kind of rip open and just put right in their mouth. It's like a little pixie stick. It is flavored like strawberry melon. I've tried them. They're really good. It's like a nice little treat. And then for an adult, there's lots of different probiotics out there, but this one, the PB Assist, is double encapsulated, which means that it's able to get to where it needs to go. So it's this little clear outer casing, and then the inside, the green, it's kind of hard to see, that is the probiotic that will get down into your gut and do its job. It really does help to support that overall healthy immune system. So that's one of the baseline things that I always like to mention is probiotics. You can also make sure that you're having fermented foods, sauerkraut, things like that have some kind of fermentation are going to help as well. So you can kind of get things through your diet and then add in with the supplementation. So that's always cool. And then a multivitamin for the kids, this is the A to Z chewable. This is also, I do know some adults who can't swallow pills. So this is actually something that adults can take too. It is a chewable multivitamin. It has a watermelon flavor, and it doesn't have any artificial dyes or any of those things that you're trying to stay away from when you're looking at multivitamins for yourself or for your kids. It's pretty much antioxidants and natural herbal compounds, and it's going to help to increase overall health and wellness. So that's a win-win. The ingredients are also bioavailable. So that's something I'd like to mention about all of doTERRA supplements is that they are easily absorbed and distributed by your body since they are the bioavailable version of all of the ingredients, which is super important because a lot of things that you can take may have really high levels of different vitamins or things that you're really looking to get more of. But if it's not the right kind of ingredient, then it's just going to be something that flushes right out of your system and defeats the purpose. So these are not that. These are bioavailable. So that's great. And then these are the IQ Megas. It's an omega-3 supplement, and it's flavored with wild orange essential oil. So it is a fish oil, but it doesn't have a fishy taste. My kids call this the orange drink, and you refrigerate it. So it's cold, and they can just take a little swig of it in the morning, or you can blend it into a smoothie, whatever kind of fits into the routine and how they would like to take it. But my kids just take it right in a little, cup. But it's a balance of the omega-3 fatty acids, and it's both EPA and DHA, and it's going to help to improve mood, cognitive function. Again, going with that, your brain health, the omegas are really great for that, and then helping with concentration, attention, memory, all while decreasing inflammation. So this is great to pair with the probiotic and the multivitamin. So those three things are things that I do with my kids all year round, but you want to make sure this time of year that you're staying routine. You know, things are kind of all over the place in the summer. You might have a very different schedule where people are in different places, different days, whether the kids are at camp or home or you're on vacation. So now getting back into the swing of things, having that daily routine of those vitamins is key. Keep them in a place in your kitchen where you know as you're making breakfast or lunches, you're going to grab them. I know some people who actually throw these little sachets in the kids' lunches with them. So it's a little kind of dessert for them at the end. So that's another idea because it is super sweet, whatever kind of works for you. And then the other thing would be I have a little idea for a healthy snack for kids. I didn't cut my apple up, but if you have a apple and you slice it up and you can put it in a bowl of filtered water with just a drop or two of the On Guard essential oils. So On Guard is the immune boosting blend, and it has cinnamon in it. It has some wild orange, just a really citrusy, spicy blend, and it gives a nice zing to the apple. So it's going to help boost immune support in those apples while the kids are eating them. And it also helps to help them not turn brown, like oxidize when they're in a little baggie or container going to school. So that's just a nice little tip to try with the kids. I even like them myself, so if you want to try them. And then obviously immune support. So we're talking about the baseline of nutrition, and then there are some essential oils that you can use to support a healthy immune system. So when I use oils on the kids, even on myself, I use diluted roller balls. So this is diluted in fractionated coconut oil. It's something that you can make yourself or you can get directly from doTERRA. If it's from doTERRA and it comes in a touch roller, it means that it's pre-diluted, so you don't have to think about how many drops you need for different age children. I do have a chart on my Instagram. It's under #legitdilution that talks about how many drops you should have for different age children. So very young children are going to have a lot higher of a dilution. They're going to have a higher ratio of fractionated coconut oil to essential oil drops. So that's important just to take a look at if you're making your own blends. Super simple to do. But if you're like, I just want my rollers ready for me, so I don't have to think about anything, then you can get them pre-diluted like this. So On Guard is a roller that you can use daily, especially right now, to gear up for back to school to help support that immune system. So if that looks like for you, it's a quick swipe up and down the back of the spine for the kids, and you rub it in, as they're kind of heading out the door, getting their shoes on. That would be a great thing to do. Or you can use it in your nighttime routine after their baths or showers. Put it right down the back of their spine or on the bottoms of their feet. I think it's really nice to give them a little swipe right across their kind of like toe pad and then down the middle, and you can just rub their feet together. If they're a little bit older, they can rub it on their own feet and really feel, that they're helping themselves too. So it's fun to see them do it themselves. On Guard is the blend that I'm mentioning that I use myself as well. But there is another oil that's part of the kids line that is called Stronger, and that is pre-diluted. It has less oils in the blend, and that is diluted for children. So that's an alternative to On Guard. You can use them interchangeably. It's actually good to kind of switch them up every now and then, maybe every few months. Switch from the On Guard to Stronger, for example, or you can even make your own little blend. Use some Arbor Vitae in there. That's really great for immune support too. Just another idea. If there is something that you're already battling or you're coming across that in the first couple of weeks of school, you get a letter home that something's going around, maybe your kids are in daycare. I know that happened a lot when my kids were, that you get that dreaded note home that somebody in the class has something, and you want to maybe kick up that immune support game. Then you can add in a little bit of oregano. So oregano is considered a hot oil. It is very strong, very powerful in its properties in helping with battling any kind of viral or bacterial infection. So it's really great to use for times when the threats are super high. And that's something that I usually put on the bottoms of the feet. And I have a blend. It's the acronym is Flume. So it's frankincense, lemon, On Guard, oregano, and melaleuca or tea tree oil, same thing. Those in a roller blend. And then I have that at the ready because inevitably throughout the season, somebody's going to have something or you're going to start to not be feeling well. And when that happens, instead of reacting, a few days later when it's full blown, you can kind of start right away with kicking that out. Using that oregano, that's really going to kick it up a notch. So keep that one handy. Oregano is always good to have around. And you've probably heard of people taking oil of oregano supplements and things like that. And that's why it's really so powerful. So kind of shifting into diffusing now, but still focusing on immune support. The oil On Guard I mentioned before, that's something that, in the morning, if you wake up and you're getting the lunches ready or you're getting dressed and showered yourself for the day, you can just throw your diffuser on in the family common area or wherever it is that you're getting ready the most and put some On Guard in the diffuser. So diffusing that daily, at least one part of the day, is going to help benefit everyone in the home. So that's a really good one to have in the diffuser. And depending on the space, you really only need like 3 to 5 drops of that. And the rest is just regular tap water. So that's super easy to have. It helps with cleansing the air. It's going to be really antiviral. And there's some other things you can throw in there I'll talk about later on to help with focus. So many things that you diffuse can help with whatever it is you're looking for. Frankincense is one of those oils that's great for pretty much everything. But if you diffuse it, it's great with helping to balance the mind. And it also helps support immune health. And I really like the way it smells. So it's helping with all of those things. So you can even add that to On Guard. When I first came home with Gianna from the hospital for immune support, I was diffusing frankincense, On Guard, and lemon. And it just smells great. And now when I smell that, it reminds me of that time. So it's really nice. And then another oil would be rosemary. So rosemary has actually been studied and shown to help children or anyone recall things if they are studying and they smell rosemary and then take a test, they can recall things easier. So that is a no-brainer to have diffusing in your home. It's also a good oil for immune support when you're diffusing it. So in the morning, you can do a little rosemary, or after school maybe, or after work when you come home, put some rosemary in there during homework time, maybe some peppermint. That's going to help to open up the airways, give you more of a clear mind, boost the energy, and just really help to jog the memory too, adding that peppermint with the rosemary. So those are just some diffuser blend ideas, but the possibilities are endless. When you have doTERRA oils, they're totally safe to be diffusing in the air. So you can figure out which blend works for you for immune health or focus or whatever it may be. And then on the emotional side of things, there's a lot of different oils, again, that you can use, and you will kind of find what works for you and your kids. But overall, I think for everyone, a game changer is citrus. It's really invigorating, it keeps everybody uplifted and super happy. One oil that has some citrus oils in it and some mint is Motivate. So this blend is really nice. This is a roller of it, so you can have it in the roller form. Hey, Jean. Or you can have it in the oil and you can diffuse it. So it really just helps to promote clarity, and it's an encouraging blend. That's a nice one for the kids too. I like it myself personally when I need a little kick to get going. But another one to help with mood would be Citrus Bliss or Elevation. Those are two separate blends that are mainly citrus oils that are going to help just really pick up that mood and just shift things. So I know a lot of times there will be such anticipation of going back to school, such excitement, the first couple of days or the first week, depending on what grade the kids are in, they're so happy. And then it's like, like something happens, maybe with some of the kids in the class, or they start getting a lot of work. So maybe they need a little bit more emotional support. So the oils can definitely be there to help them through that, whether they're in kindergarten or in high school. Another oil that I really love is this Brave blend. This is part of the kids collection. It's called the Courage blend. And this is one, Vinny loves this oil. He puts this on before school. He's going into first grade and he already talks about kids who were bullies. So it's just so sad that already, I mean, he started talking about it in kindergarten, and this oil made him feel more comfortable. And we would kind of talk before he went to school. He'd rub it on his belly or on his wrists, and just talk about, how you should deal with bullies, which I really didn't think I'd be having that conversation so soon. But it can give him some confidence and courage, that little Brave blend. So I like that one. And he's kind of just been drawn to it himself. So over time, you'll see which ones you're drawn to or your kids are drawn to. And it's really empowering for them to be able to feel that they have these connections with the aromas, because there is a physical reaction that's happening in their body. So it's pretty cool to see it happening so young with these kids. Another oil, this is like one of the cheapest oils you can get, and one of the most versatile citrus oils is lemon. So you can diffuse this. It's going to help cleanse and purify the air. It's also good for cleaning the home. So that's a whole nother video, but when you're focusing on really doing an overhaul in your health and wellness and focusing on everything that you can do to shift to a more natural approach, cleaning is a big one. So lemon is great for having just a natural spray around the house, even when you're cleaning countertops, things like that. And it smells great. And it's one of those happy oils. It is a citrus. So it's good to also incorporate into like a hand spray. You can create your own hand sanitizer. Shifting into more back into immune health is the On Guard hand sanitizer. So again, you can make this with just distilled water, a little fractionated coconut oil. You can make even a gel if you want to use the aloe vera gel, but I like to do the spray. And then you can add lemon to this too if you want to add, or wild orange, but I like this just pure On Guard one right from here. That's always good to have. I'm going to throw this in Vinny's lunchbox again this year, because we all know that they go to school and they might be supposed to wash their hands before lunch, but I don't really know how well that happens and if there's even any soap used. So On Guard hand sanitizer can fit right in his little lunchbox. So that's nice to have for him at school. And then at home, we have the On Guard soap. So the hand foaming soap is going to be, it's at all of the sinks around my house. And I know some teachers even use it. So we'll see if maybe we can get those in Vinny's classroom. That would be cool for when, especially when they're washing their hands. I feel like even just the soap being that kind of spongy consistency, the kids love it. So it's going to help them use it even more, and they love the smell of it. So that's also another thing that I love about it. And then coming back to emotions quick, balance. This is my favorite blend for stress and kind of just managing all of the things that are going on all the time. And I like, this is diluted in coconut oil, so I like to just kind of pour it like right on my wrist. This is kind of empty because I use a lot of balance. I just rub it right on my wrist and then I'll just inhale it. So you can just do that as a quick application if you need, if there's too much going on, everyone's feeling stressed out all over the place, you can just do a quick little swipe, take a few deep breaths, and it really can shift your mood and just overall feeling about everything. That's a good one to have and to use on any kind of diffuser jewelry. So it can be any kind of porous little bracelet or necklace. That's a good thing for yourself or for the kids too. And then the other one that is part of the kids line is the Steady. So this is the grounding blend that has been blended together for the kiddos. This smells really good too. I love it because, like I mentioned, it has magnolia in it, and I love magnolia. So some really powerful oils in here for helping them to calm down. It has a little bit of a sweeter scent to it. Balance to me smells like a spa. So I feel like that's more of like an adult kind of smell, but this Steady is really good for kids. So that's nice to help them with the calm, because I know that we may not realize, but they get so overwhelmed and it can happen so easily, especially with all of these new schedules and a new classroom, new friends, bus. There's so much. So we can't forget about their emotions and helping to support them there too. And it's so easy to do, just diffusing or even doing that quick inhale like I just did. Okay, so we're going to talk about sleep. I didn't want to leave this out. I know shifting, I mean, my kids right now are watching a movie. So this is like the last night of summer. So I was like, that's it. After this, we're getting back into a stricter sleep routine. I always feel bad, you know, summer, I kind of loosen things a lot for them, but getting back into school when they really need to be focusing and getting those certain hours of sleep. So I've read, I know there's different things out there, but basically the guidelines seem to be like 3 to 5 year olds need about 11 to 13 hours of sleep. 6 to 10 year olds need about 11 hours of sleep, which going to bed at this time, they will not be getting tonight. 10 to 17-year-olds need about 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep standardly. So really focusing on like the screens at night, TV, video games before bed. It's so hard because I know they get home from school and maybe they want to wind down, but it's really not helping them to get the best sleep that they can be getting, because that bright light is really going to affect their sleep and their natural circadian rhythm, that at night they should be exposed to, you know, not such bright lights, especially the blue light. So if you do have older kids, or even for yourself, you can have those blue light blocker glasses. I mean, at least try them out and see how you feel about it. That if you feel like you need to be working late or you're watching something, then it's going to kind of help you to keep that light out of your eyes so it doesn't affect your sleep as much. Even something as simple as lavender can be really nice in some lotion after the shower or the bath at night, or just a drop in a bath if your kids are of that age to be taking baths. You can mix it in your hand, so just put a little squirt of the like bath soap, and then put a drop of the lavender in there, and then let the water run it off of your hand, and then kind of disperse it through that way, so that it will help to emulsify in the water. Because if not, if you just pour like a drop or two of lavender, it's just going to chill out there right on top of the water if it's not mixing with something a little bit more. I like to put Epsom salt in the bath for the kids too. That is extra calming and it can help with their muscles. So that's something that we do a lot as well. And I take my empties. So if you are a more seasoned oiler, or you're just getting started and you're almost at the bottom of your lavender, like I am, I save all these bottles and I throw them in a big jar of Epsom salt, and it kind of gets in every little nook and cranny so that it pulls out all of the oils. And then my kids like to play oil class in the tub with the bottles after they come out of Epsom salt. So my bottles get used. Another thing would be diffusing. So all throughout the day, depending on what you want, you're going to be diffusing different things. So in the morning, whether that's an invigorating blend like peppermint and wild orange, or Motivate, or you want that immune support right in the morning, right? And then you're shifting into after school, you have some On Guard or rosemary and peppermint, whatever your blend may be. And then at night, you're going to shift into something more like Serenity, which is the restful blend. It has a nice lavender, vanilla undertone. And then something like juniper berry has actually been used a lot for helping with nightmares or night terrors. So if any of your kids suffer with that, juniper berry can be something you can try at night in their diffuser. I really like the way this smells too. Side note, it's good for a detox bath after you've been traveling. I like to bring this along as well with some Epsom salt. And then vetiver is a good one for at night as well. Any of the wood oils, so cedar wood is very calming. If lavender is not your thing, stick more to the juniper berry, cedar wood, vetiver. And yeah, Jean, try it. I can give you some juniper berry. Try it out. I really like the smell of it too. Okay. And all of this winding down at night, that routine is going to be so important because it's going to also help your body and the kids' bodies to recognize it's time to go to sleep. Because after you're doing this over and over again, once you smell that oil, so if something like juniper berry or serenity is the oil that you kind of reserve for nighttime for sleep, then that's what you're going to start to recognize when you smell that oil. So it's really powerful in keeping that routine as much as you can. And then over time, it's going to be easier and easier to kind of help wind down, help your mind stop racing at night. Even the kids, they're growing and developing so much. I mean, even like babies, when they go through all of those different phases, like I'm sure you read about in all those like mommy blogs and websites, that at certain ages their brain is growing or they can't catch up with comprehending that they're learning to walk and do all these things. So it's just their brain doesn't stop when they're trying to sleep. So I feel like that happens. It still happens to me, right? You lay down and you're like thinking of all the things that you didn't do or what you have to do the next day. And then you're, you know, picking up your phone and looking at the whatever you forgot, adding things to your calendar. For adults, a nice tip would be before bed, just write down 3 things that you got done for that day, 3 things that you're grateful for, or 3 things that you want to get done the next day, and just kind of keep it simple to a short list. And then you're kind of removing it from your mind, and then you can go to sleep more peacefully. So that has nothing to do with oils, but I feel like it does at the same time when you're talking about your overall wellness. All of these little things and all of the little tips that you pick up along the way, it's just your overall wellness and how you can support yourself. So I like to share whatever I can. So hopefully that helps. Another thing that I'll share that always has helped me, and it seems like my kids are following along, reading a book at night. Like, I know some people like sit and read and that's their thing. Nighttime is their time to read. I'll read like 2 pages and I'm done. Like, I'm reading to the kids and I fall asleep while I'm reading. So that's something for me. If I really can't fall asleep, then I can turn to a book, and that paired with my diffuser on is like I'm out. Half the time the kids have to wake me up because I'm sleeping reading a book, but it's always been that way. Even having to read for school, I just fall asleep. So if that's you, that's something to kind of just remember, maybe trying to read, hopefully nothing that you have to remember, but just read something at night, and it's going to kind of help you to fall asleep. And when you are using oils at night, you can diffuse them, or you can even just rub them on your pulse points. If you're somebody who sleeps with your hands up here, rub it on your wrists, rub a little on your pillow, your chest, bottoms of your feet. If it's something more like you're like, I'm not feeling that great, you're going to throw that oregano on your feet before bed, throw your socks on so you don't have to smell it, and then you're good. Another quick little bonus recipe that I wanted to share is a conditioning lice repelling spray. So hopefully you're not going to need this, but I actually use this in Gianna's hair as a leave-in conditioner like every day. So it has rosemary in it, so it's going to help repel those lice, but it also has rose water in it, so it smells really good. People always compliment her on her hair, how it smells. So this is what it is. It's just a half a cup of distilled water, and I'll post this too, so you don't have to write it all down. But it's 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable glycerin, 1 tablespoon of fractionated coconut oil, a tablespoon of rose water, and then it's 2 drops of ylang ylang and 3 drops of rosemary. I think that you can absolutely also add in tea tree oil if you want. That's another great oil for helping with lice. And you can switch out the ylang ylang if you don't have ylang ylang and you want something else. If you have geranium, that's really good for hair. Even cedarwood is really good. And rosemary also helps with hair growth. So that's just a great spray to just have and just spray on your hair whenever you want. But since we're talking about back to school, and I know that that's a big topic in a lot of classrooms, that's a little lice spray for you. 2 more quick things, and that's it, because I wanted to keep this short. These are the On Guard throat drops. I love these. I bring them when I travel. Steve actually just grabbed two because he wants to bring them with him to work tomorrow, like on the bus. I was riding a bike the other day. I like to have it. It's the immune support blend in a cough drop form. Super yummy. My kids don't eat those yet, but when they get a little bit older, that's like their candy treat. And then Deep Blue, I'm going to show you what I did to this bottle in a minute because I want to save every last drop of this lotion. This is great for muscle support, aches, pains, any of that kind of stuff. Coming back to school, I feel like all the kids are starting all of the sports, like practice games every night of the week. Something's going on. So especially in their little growing bodies, you have to help support them. And Deep Blue is something that we turn to a lot in our house. So when these bottles get low, I saw somebody share this tip and I just love it. You just slice the top off so that you can actually get into the bottle. So there's so much lotion left in here, but I can't get it out. So I can just put a little like stick in there, or Q-tip, or I can use my finger and get the last bit of the lotion out. And then you can kind of just put the top back on and just close it, like just shove it right down. I mean, this isn't even going to last like a couple more days, maybe a week, if that, so you don't have to worry about it kind of like aerating or anything. Same thing for the toothpaste. Nice little tip to keep it like that. So that's it for tonight. That's going to keep all of you guys happy and healthy back to school and throughout the year. And I'll be doing more of these, so stay tuned. Have a great night. Good night, guys.